So, has this ever happened to you? It actually happens to me so very often that it finally has prompted me to start this, or I should say, another YouTube channel, really dealing with etiquette problems and learning, teaching, um, how to interact with one another. And these interactions are so important. Um, Also to be able to have successful deals and to do it, in good feeling. And what is it that has happened? I'm sure this has happened also to you in different versions. I received a lovely email this morning. It's in a different language, but hello, it was really such a great pleasure meeting you and thank you for your time, etc. And referring back to our conversation, here's the contact. Okay. Of course, when somebody gives you a contact, you can't just write to them. You can't just call them up. I have a mobile number, I have a personal email of somebody whom I have never met, who potentially would have great interest in collaborating with me, and with whom I would like to meet. So now I'm put in the situation where I'm superbly annoyed because I can't really reach out to somebody's personal mobile phone. Can you imagine somebody calling you on your personal mobile phone and saying, "Oh, hello, I'm so and so." And the first question would be, "Who gave you my number?" First reaction, first response that you have is just annoyance. And actually, that's already the beginning of the end. This is almost already the beginning of that because I start my day. I was looking forward to this introduction, and then I now start my day annoyed at the person who has put me in this situation. They have given me personal contact details to a person who I cannot contact. So when I see them, and I will see them, I cannot say, well, this person introduced us because they haven't really properly done so. And I don't know whether they have spoken about me or not. So I don't really know how to position myself when I do see them. So all of this comes back, or it comes down to etiquette. Very simple etiquette and respect for other human beings and for understanding your role in certain situations. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the European code in email introductions. So first of all, there's this kind of a four-step process. Step number one, you have a conversation with somebody. You're having a business meeting, a personal meeting, you have a dinner. And the person says, "Oh, I think that so and so would probably very much benefit from knowing you. Would you be interested?" They tell you a little bit about them. And you say, "Well, yes or no." And in this case, I said, "Yeah, this would probably be something that could be of interest to me." So the introducer now has received my interest, my sparked interest, and also my specific okay that they can share my email because they asked, which was really nice. And I thought, oh, this is great. So far, so good. So normally, what the introducer should have done was to call up the other person or to meet them and say, "Here, I have met with this person. I believe this would be of interest also to you," or whatever the words are, whatever the reasons are. And this person has kindly allowed me to share their email with you. So I would like to write an introductory email and also share your coordinates with them. If of course you think this could also be beneficial to you. If you don't think so, then don't worry. I will just say, well, you don't really have time at the moment on your agenda, or just happy to connect on LinkedIn, or something that is much more neutral and not an actual meeting setup. Once that person is interested or not, if they're interested, they would give you permission, specific permission, of course, to give their email, and then which email, personal or work email, and also their telephone, which telephone, personal or perhaps work, perhaps just like a landline, because they still are not so quite sure. Or maybe they would just like to say, we will be together at this meeting. Why don't we just meet each other there, and you can introduce us. So the replies could be several. But at this point, having received this email, I don't know if the person has actually, the introducer has actually spoken to the person that is potentially of interest to me. I don't know. I just, received an email. So nice meeting you, and all this wonderful energy. And then this personal information shared with me that I don't know what to do with. And according to my etiquette standards, I cannot call them and just introduce myself kind of in the cold. So normally, step number one is interest happens from my side. Step number two, the introducer goes to the person and asks and just determines what is the interest. Step number three, they ask their permission to share their coordinates as they had asked mine. And number four, they write an email to both of us. And really nice email saying, I am so glad that both of you are interested to meet each other. You will also be at the same event, not? But both parties have agreed that I share the coordinates, and I would be very happy to see something come of it. And I believe this will be a very fruitful relationship. From then on, the person, of course, receiving it, then it's my part to say thank you very much, and to try to and then reach out also in the same email, really, to the person who would be maybe interested, and say, would you like to wait until the meeting, or would you like to have a Zoom call, or what is your availability, or and the person would write another email just like that, also to me. Of course, first of all, always thanking the introducer for this opportunity. At the end of the day, what is the difference? The difference is actually the smoothness of conversation, kind of the good energy around it. Good things tend to come easy, not like with this weird situations and struggle, and that is the basis of our human communication. And these things need to be learned. These are tiny little glitches that sometimes make or break business deals, job interviews, relationships, even. So, being respectful towards both parties, being forthcoming, and at the same time, protecting personal space and encouraging. So that creates good energy. People are excited to meet. They know exactly what kind of a background they have. Let's say this would have happened. I would have sent an email. The person would have sent me an email. We probably would have met or just had a Zoom call. Then we would have met at the meeting where the introducer would also be, for example. And, everybody would be in a very good and sort of positive way of collaborating. Now the situation is a bit weird. And this is not the first time that has happened to me. And there are probably some ways I could solve it, but I don't want to put all of this in one video. I'm just saying these are the small little things that we can learn, and the sooner we learn them in our lives, the better. And it's really important if you have an office and if you have a secretary or somebody who would be delegated, for example, to do these kind of things, that they have a very good comprehension of how this needs to work. Of course, all of the good secretaries usually are quite aware of that, but I thought if you have a personal assistant or just somebody helping you out, or sometimes these people are just interns, you have to be very sure that the business etiquette, or not only business, life etiquette is in place. And when that is in place, then deals happen smoothly, our day moves forward smoothly, and with much better success and better energy. I hope this was helpful. If you have situations that you would like to share with me where you did not know how to react, or to which you didn't really have solutions, or if you just want to share a question, that would be very helpful. So when I make my next video, I can answer that. Have a good day.